In this presentation, we will look at some of the turning tools unique to Robert Sorby. In part 1 of this series, we've already seen the multi-tip hollowing tool, the Hollow Master, the Sand Master, the Chatter tool, the texturing and spiraling system, and the Spindle Master. Today we will introduce some more tools from the extensive collection made by Robert Sorby in Sheffield, England, which includes not just turning tools and accessories, but also carving tools and bench and framing chisels. We will start with the original Steb Centre, a new concept in lathe drives. Simple and secure, it's a must in every turner's toolkit. The Easy Beader, a quick method of producing evenly spaced beads on turned projects. The Hardwood Scraper gives a fine finish time after time. And the Robert Sorby sharpening system takes all the guesswork out of keeping your turning tools in tip-top condition. Let's have a look at the first of these, the original Steb Centre, a collection of safe and easy to use lathe drives. This clever design incorporates a retractable point on a spring with specially designed teeth to drive the wood firmly and safely, making them ideal for both the novice turner or the professional doing repeat production turning. One of the beauties of the Steb Centre is that it reduces the dangers of any digging. With the point engaged and the teeth just driving, a dig-in will simply cause the wood to slip. With other drives, you may lose control of the tool or find the end of your piece of wood very badly damaged. The design of the Steb Centre makes it easy to relocate work back onto the lathe, and the teeth will not split apart delicate woods or glue joints. Standard Steb Centres are available in 1/2 inch, 7/8 and 1¼ inch in number 1 and number 2 Morse taper. The 1¼ inch is also available in a number 3 Morse taper. There is also a Steb drive which fits neatly into a supernova chuck in the same way that the wood screw or spur centre does. For the tailstock end, there is also a revolving or live Steb Centre, ideal for basic off-centre turning projects on the lathe. Let's now see how these work in action. In our first project, we will make a simple tool handle turned to an oval shape. In preparation, mark the diagonals on each end and turn your square section to round. Using a compass, mark 2 positions along one of the diagonals approximately 3/8 of an inch from the centre. Repeat this at the other end, ensuring that you mark the same diagonal. Now locate your Steb centres on the pencil line. This will enable you to turn off-centre. Check by hand that the wood clears your tool rest. Set the speed on your lathe to approximately 750 RPM and begin turning. Here we are using a 3/4 inch Robert Sorby gold roughing gouge. Take care as the bevel is not rubbing consistently. Continue to rough down until the pencil line just shows. Reposition the wood in the second location hole at each end. You will notice that the teeth of the Steb Centre allow offsetting beyond the edge of the workpiece. Then continue to rough down until you have the final shape. And there you have it, a simple oval tool handle turned between two stem centres. A second novel project utilising the stem centres is this three-sided bowl. First of all, mount your blank on a faceplate or screw chuck. Here we are using an 80mm faceplate ring in conjunction with a supernova chuck. True the blank to a cylinder using a bowl gouge. Next, true the face. In preparation for mounting in a chuck, make a spigot or recess. Next, mark the centre. We will see the importance of this a little later on. Remove the faceplate ring and remount the wood on the spigot or recess. True up the second face and mark its centre. It is important that both faces are flat and parallel for the stem centres to turn the wood accurately. Using a compass, draw a circle on both sides of the blank. The diameter will determine the degree of offset of the final bowl. Next, divide the circle into three. With a square, transfer one mark to the other side. Then divide the circle into three and mark each position with a brad awl. This ensures that the points of the stem centres will locate firmly. Number the positions 1, 2 and 3. With a compass, mark the limit of the three sides to be turned. On this bowl, you will note that the sides do not meet, thus giving 3 long and 3 short sides. At the headstock end, fit the stem drive into your supernova chuck. You could of course use a standard stem centre on a Morse taper and place the revolving stem centre in the tailstock. Mount the blank between the centres at position 1 and then advance the tailstock to hold the wood securely. Carefully position the tool rest and move the blank by hand to ensure that it clears. Do remember that only a third of the wood will be turned at each stage. Start the lathe at a fairly modest speed and turn the first side. Take a little care as the tool control is much more difficult with the bevel only rubbing a third of the time. Then repeat this process for positions 2 and 3. Having turned all 3 sides, remove the blank from the chuck and remount on the faceplate ring. Then, turn the back or base of the bowl to the required shape. Next, sand your bowl using an adjustable handheld tool like this Sandmaster. By going through a number of grits of abrasive, you will obtain a very fine finish. Apply a suitable finish like this Danish oil. To complete the bowl, remount it on the chuck and turn the inside in the normal fashion. Now we have an exquisite piece produced by utilising different stab centres. Using this same method, you can turn multi-sided bowls, dishes and boxes to your heart's content. Now let's move on to the next tool in our review, the Easy Beader. This simple tool is designed to produce beads of a consistent size quickly and easily. It has a unique shape incorporating 2 quarter circles. When using the Easy Beader, set your tool rest on or slightly below centre height and as close to your workpiece as possible. The top cutting edge of the tool is now above centre when placed on the tool rest. Slightly raise the handle so that the cutting edge is now on centre, producing a trailing cut, and slowly apply forward pressure so that the Easy Beader begins to cut. A gentle side-to-side motion of the handle assists in removing the waste material. Continue these actions until 2 perfect quarter circles have been produced. To form the next half of the bead, simply repeat these steps. Ensure that the shoulder of the tool is lined up with the outer edge of the previous quarter circle. The Easy Beader can also be used to create a perfect curved edge by using just one side. This is done by lining up the point of the tool with the face of the workpiece and working exactly as we did previously. The Easy Beader is simple to sharpen. Just use a diamond hone or slipstone across the top face. As a word of warning, never try to sharpen around the bevel, as you are likely to ruin the shape of the tool. The Easy Beader is available in 3 sizes to make beads of 1/4 inch, 3/8 and a half. Let's put the Easy Beader to use as we make a simple honey dipper. First of all, mount a piece of wood between centres and turn it into a cylinder. When making projects for food use, it's always advisable to avoid exotic woods, as these may be dangerous. On your wood, mark the 2 sections, the handle and the dipper, and allow for some waste wood at the headstock end. Using the 3/8 Easy Beader, round over the end of the blank at the tailstock, and then continue down the wood, forming 5 or 6 full beads. When that is done, turn your handle shape. This can be as simple or as fancy as you like. Sand the project and finally part off. If a finish is to be used, ensure that it is a food-safe oil. And there you have it, a simple honey dipper. In our second project with the Easy Beader, we're going to make a coaster. Having first turned the coaster to the desired size, the base is sanded, finished and remounted onto a chuck. Using the 1/4 inch Easy Beader, 1 bead is formed towards the outer edge of the coaster. The area between the edge and the first full bead is cleaned up using a 3/8 beading and parting tool. Then, using the 1/2 inch easy beader, the edge is formed into a quarter circle. Next, sand and finish your coaster using a suitable oil. The next tool we'll look at is the hardwood scraper from Robert Sorby. As the name suggests, this tool is designed to achieve a fine finish on hardwoods like ebony and African backwood. It's normally difficult to get a good finish on these woods using a conventional gouge or scraper. The reason that the hardwood scraper works so well is that the negative bevel on the top face stops the wood from rising up over the cutting edge and tearing out the grain. This, in conjunction with the positive bevel rubbing behind the cutting edge, will give a perfect finish. The hardwood scraper is equally at home on both platters and open curved bowls, as well as on spindles. When using the hardwood scraper, the tool rest is set below centre and the tool presented with the handle down and the front bevel rubbing on the wood. When the handle is lifted, the cutting edge engages and a fine shaving appears. The front cutting edge has a slight curve, allowing the tool to be used on internal and external faceplate or bowl turning. The hardwood scraper is especially effective on spindle work, where it prevents tear out on the grain. Consequently, it is used by musical instrument makers to produce a highly polished finish straight from the tool. To sharpen the hardwood scraper, use a diamond hone on the front edge, just as we did earlier with the easy beader, or, if damage has occurred, present the bevel to a grinder at 80 degrees. By turning the handle slightly to the left and right, the curved profile will be maintained. The hardwood scraper from Robert Sorby is available in a regular size as well as a micro for those making miniature or delicate projects. Let's now have a look at sharpening tools. This remains one of the greatest difficulties facing the wood turner. Often sharpening is referred to only in passing in classes. It's much more important than that. One of the greatest frustrations faced by the turner is caused by blunt or badly sharpened tools. When used in conjunction with a bench grinder, the Robert Sorby sharpening system, offered in 3 configurations, offers a comprehensive solution to obtain a consistent shape and finish. The first of these configurations is the fingernail profiler, which consists of a base and profiling arm. This is used to quickly and accurately form fingernail profiles, also known as Irish or Celtic grinds, on both spindle and bowl gouges. The locking clamp will hold all gouges from an 1/8 spindle gouge to a 3/4 inch bowl gouge. The second configuration is the universal sharpening system, which consists of a base unit and an adjustable platform. When locked in place correctly, this gives a firm base to sharpen standard turning tools like scrapers, parting tools and roughing gouges. The platform can be set by eye using the existing bevel, or by using the angle finder which is included with the system. This has 4 preset angles. The third configuration is the deluxe universal sharpening system, which combines both the profiling arm and the adjustable platform. Fitting all of these configurations is quick and simple, and instructions are included for easy reference. Position the base of the unit so that the front edge of the stationary grindstone is a 1/2 inch from the back. Ensure that the sharpening unit is central to the wheel when viewed from the front. Fix the sharpening unit in place using 4 screws. Locating the screws to the far end of the slots will allow you to reposition the unit as the wheel wears. The platform is adjustable for both height and angle. The left hand locking handle will set the angle, and the right hand will set both the height and distance from the wheel. You will notice that these incorporate captive nuts, which will not be lost in your shavings. To set the height of the profiling arm, slacken the grub screw on the height adjusting collar with the Allen key or Allen wrench provided. Swing the clamp so that the stem is vertical. When the centre of the clamping head is level with the centre of the grindstone, tighten the grub screw. To sharpen a tool using the adjustable platform, set the height and distance from the wheel using the right hand locking handle. To set the angle, either use the angle finder provided in the box or use the existing angle of the tool. When set to the correct angle, tighten the locking handle on the left hand side and start to sharpen. It's always a good idea to test the angle. Turn on the grinder, and when it's at full speed, present the tool and grind a reference mark on the front. Remove the tool and check to see if the grind is consistent on the bevel, but if you are satisfied, continue to sharpen the tool. To use the profiling arm, locate the spindle or bowl gouge into the clamp. Note that these are the only tools that you sharpen with a fingernail profile. The amount that the tool projects depends on the bevel angle you want. The longer the protrusion, the finer the bevel angle, and the greater the opportunity to sweep back the wings. For a bowl gouge with a 45-degree bevel angle, project the tool by 2 inches. For your convenience, the angle finder is 2 inches long. Lock the gouge into position with the clamp screw. Offer the tool to a stationary wheel and check that the bevel is flat on the wheel when viewed from the side. Reduce or extend the projection as required to match the bevel. It's a good idea to measure the projection and keep a note of this handy for all future sharpenings. With the grinding wheel running, grind each of the wings first. Finish by rolling the pivoting arm smoothly from side to side until you achieve one clean pass. The Robert Sorby sharpening system is tried and tested. Many thousands are in use around the world. It gives not only a consistent finish, but will eliminate all those tiresome facets which can take all the pleasure out of turning. Thank you for taking the time and trouble to watch this presentation. We trust you've learnt something from it. Just to recapitulate, you have seen how to make the most of the original stem centers, how to cut even beads with the Easy Beader, how to put a fine finish on your project with the hardwood scraper, and last but not least, how to keep your tool sharp with the universal sharpening system. If you're keen to learn more, we have a number of other dedicated videos. Our website also keeps you up to date with our latest products, our extensive network of dealers worldwide, and a diary of when we will next be demonstrating our tools in an area near you.